These by Dallas, make it hurt.
It's time. It's time. What's going on, everybody? It's time. When you see the smoke, you know what time it is. I appear. Here I am. It's Saturday. It's 3:00. Yeah, it means only one thing. It means it is time for the one and the only, the Big Time Show that we're being seen and heard live right now on Facebook, on the Big Time Show channel, as well as the Big Time Show YouTube channel, live right now on X. We're live now on Twitch and Twitter. Well, it's the same thing as X. Forgive me for that. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Appreciate all of you guys coming in just to come hang with me for however long you stay on this Saturday evening. I think we pretty much all share, with the exception of a few of us, wherever you are in the country right now, it's hot. It's hot. Right here in Memphis, here in the good old South. If you've been a part of the South in the summertime, you already know what time it is down here. It is hot. Let me know where you are. Let me know where you are, and I can tell you without even being there if it's hot or not. If you're in the South, I don't even need you to tell me. I know it's hot. I know it's blazing, and I know that hopefully you guys are being smart and staying cool wherever you are. Right now, I'm sharing. I hope that you would do me the favor of sharing this content that we're going to throw up today. Going to be a little different today, and I'm going to have to kind of explain where I'm going. If you looked at my title, I don't know how you might feel about it already, but I think it's something that we need to explore before it really gets out of hand. I can see something coming out. If you want to contribute to the podcast, you can by simply, if you're on Facebook, you can go to those stars. You can use the stars. And of course, if you're on YouTube, you can use the super chats as well. And it's not a requirement, but I would appreciate it if you would help your boy like that. But if you don't, it's cool. You also can use the Cash App there that you see on the screen, $ the Big Time Show. You can do that as well. And I would appreciate that. So we have several different ways that you can contribute. I get it asked all the time. About a lot of few people asking how they can contribute. And, there it is for you. So I appreciate all of you guys there. Let me look and see what we got going so far. I'm gonna speak to everybody in a minute. 66 in Seattle. Man, it don't never get hot up there. I see you, Mr. Kill. 66 in Seattle. Man. And that's probably the high for the day. And figure that out. For all of us that live in the South and places where it get hot. It's the middle of June, almost July. And somewhere in this country, it is 66 degrees as we presently speak. It's spring weather for us. But it is 66 degrees in Seattle. Just, man, we won't see that until, let me see. We won't see that until March of next year. I mean, that's gone for us. The lows in the summertime here in Memphis are in the 80s. And that's how bad it is here. And especially when you add in the humidity. I mean, the sun could be down. It would be 80, 83 for the low. And with the heat index, with the humidity, it'll be 90 at night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I see. I'm coming down. Coach Price. Yeah, Coach Mars says it's Columbia, South Carolina. It's 95 there. Yeah, that's the South. That's the South. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm a part of. Right here. Y'all forgive me for looking down, but I'm still sharing. So just forgive me. I'll be with you guys in just a second. I'm going to speak to everybody that has spoken to me. Just give me a hot second. How's your Saturday going? I got something I want to pull up. I saw something that my mind kind of went in a total different place off a basic article, which may seem to you like it was, okay. But I don't like the precedents that is setting. That's me. Now, you may not feel this way, the way I feel, and it's okay. And you may even say, well, big time, you reading too much into this stuff. Well, forgive me for being like that, but sometimes when you think this way, sometimes it is the truth. Let me speak to everybody, then we're going to go ahead and have some fun with this stuff here. Let's look and see here. AC, what's up, man? AC, my brother, what's going on? Appreciate you. Greg Davis, how you doing, sir? I already spoke to William. Marcus McFarland, how you doing, brother? Keystone Cowboy, yes, sir. Shane, you live here in Tennessee with me, so yes, sir. You already know. Coach Price, Coach Marv already said that. What's going on? So let's go ahead and talk. I got some smart people in here now. I want to set this up from a different route. All right, here I go on my rant. So I was as a Los Angeles Laker fan, I'm very irritated. Number one, because the Boston Celtics are the world champions. That's enough for me. If you're a real Laker fan, you don't like that the Celtics are the champions. Bottom line, I don't care if you like Jason Tatum, Brown, whoever else. You hate the Celtics if you are a Laker fan. If you're my age, then I really don't have to explain it to you. It's deep rooted. I mean, it's deep. It can't be changed. I can't. My mind just goes, and you have to understand the setting of the 80s when it seemed like it was the Lakers and the Celtics every finals almost. That was a deep setting. I don't want to get into that because it's a lot of different angles you can go with it. It was deep to the point that I got into fights about the Lakers and Celtics being in the 7th and 8th grade. And back when I was in middle school, we had a half and half type of school. And when I'm talking about race, we had a bunch of not a bunch of black people, but we had more white people than black. And it seemed that the dividing line was there. Um, all of the Caucasians love the Celtics. All the blacks, of course, love the Lakers. Now it's not hard to figure that out. And if you really want to understand that, you go to and watch the 30 for 30, the Lakers and the Celtics, and I wouldn't have to say a word. You just see it. But prior to the Lakers and Celtics, Magic Johnson, man, did something that he would get destroyed for today, but he didn't because he was Magic. Magic Johnson in 1980, his rookie year, won the championship. If you know anything about basketball, you know that Magic Johnson, Kareem got hurt, Magic won. They won the championship. Paul Westhead was the coach. Magic Johnson, to make a long story short, got the coach fired simply because he didn't like his system. He didn't like the way things were running. He tried to keep him down, on the bench even per se. Magic got put in the lineup, put Dr. Buss, who was the owner of the time, put him in front, made him make a decision on who it's going to be. It's either going to be Magic way, or it's going to be or Magic going to leave, or he's not going to come, or you're going to keep Coach Westhead. Dr. Buss ended up firing him. And the rest, they say, is history. That's how Pat Riley ended up getting the job. And once Pat Riley got into the job, you all know the history if you know anything about basketball. The Lakers ran off by 4 more championships, team of the 80s, all that type of stuff. But it all started with Magic winning the championship and then getting the coach fired. Pat Riley would have never even been the coach if it wasn't for that. But here's the thing. Magic then had power in the organization. Fast forward to now. I was disturbed by what I just saw with the Lakers and the hiring of J.J. Redick. Not that I don't like J.J., not that I'm saying that a person who hasn't coached can't coach. We done seen too many examples of guys who just came off the floor and then ended up coaching, and the Steve Kerrs, you know what I'm saying, the Jason Kidds. Steve Kerr, you don't have to say that. He's turned into a Hall of Fame coach now. But you can't, man played for 15 years, JJ did. Everybody knows he has a very high IQ. God bless him, you know what I'm saying. But we all know how he got the job. We all know why he got the job. It is because of LeBron James. Fast forward again. There's a draft that's coming up in a couple weeks. And LeBron had said years ago that he wanted to play with his son. I'm not knocking LeBron for that. God bless him for that. That's admirable. If your son is good enough to make the NBA, and it's a dream of his, and that's what he wanted to do, and it looks like that his son is going to have a chance to get drafted in the league. The funny part about that was that prior to the scouting combine camp, Bronny James was not even, the report was he's not an NBA player. That's what they said. Then after the camp, which he did well, shot the cover off the ball and everything, Bronny all of a sudden now is in the 50 to 55 range, which is, of course, is where the Lakers will be choosing in the second round. Bronny, Rich Paul, who was his agent, has said he ain't working out with nobody but the Lakers and the Suns. All right. Hey, Terry, what's going on? Joe, what's up? And Bronny seems that he's going to be in striking distance of the Lakers, which, of course, will fulfill the dream of LeBron James. And he, although many say he's not on that level, it's because of his father that he is getting this type of recognition. The man wasn't even a starter at USC. He only averaged 5 points a game. How in the world is he even being considered to be even in the second round? There's players that are, probably a little bit better than he is. But because of who his dad is, because of the name, James, he's going to be drafted probably by the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm quite sure that LeBron James had put out some whispers in people's ears saying, better draft him because I'm not signing this opt-in clause, and I can be an unrestricted free agent. I can go wherever I want to go. In other words, if his son get drafted somewhere else, he very easily could not sign back with the Lakers and he ain't go where his son is since he want to play with his son so bad. That's his right. That's the way his contract works. I'm not knocking LeBron for that at all. However, I am saying this. The difference between Magic Johnson in 1980 and LeBron James in 2024 is simple. Magic Johnson was 20 years old. God knows how many years he had left. And he was a dominant basketball player, a world champion as a rookie. LeBron James is 40, will be 40. He on his way out the door. The organization, Dr. Buss, in 1980, had a choice to make between a coach and Magic Johnson, a very young Magic Johnson. I think y'all would agree, no matter how bad y'all may not agree with it in hindsight now, he made the right choice. Magic brought 4 more championships to the organization, Been to the finals just about every year in the 80s with the exception of one year, and it was 81. Houston made it to play Boston, and then in 86, Houston again made it to play Boston again. Other than those 2 years, the Lakers was in the finals every year in the 80s. He made the right decision. But it got to come to a point in today's time that you shouldn't let a player have this type of power over your organization, especially when he's getting ready to retire within the next 2 to 3 years. You're making decisions based off of the here and now. But when you have a player, LeBron status, who's 40 years old, will be 40, you can't make the decisions based off of him because he got to leave in a few more years. You're at the point now that you got to start acting as if LeBron is not on your team and start making decisions based on the future of the team. So let's go back. Is really Bronny James really in that conversation? No, not to me. I've seen him play. I'm not saying he can't play. I'm just saying if it wasn't for his dad there, the Lakers probably wouldn't even be entertaining Bronny James as a draft pick. See what I'm saying? So everything is based off now, and he's not there. Now, here's the difference. Thank you, Eastside Harold. Here's the difference, though. When Kobe Bryant was older, the Lakers did cater to him. But the Lakers weren't trying to win back then. Not in Kobe's latter years. They weren't about to trade away, all day. They weren't doing anything. They weren't winning. They weren't even making the playoffs. Kobe was the meal, the ticket that put people in the seats. Kobe was automatic, still, a box office type guy. But winning, they didn't make no real trades. They didn't make no nothing. They just gonna let it ride with Kobe until he retired. There was no effort. The Lakers are trying to still win. But it's obvious because they figure they owe LeBron James at least an opportunity to try to win. But why are we there? To me, again, I'm not knocking JJ Redick. I'm saying there are other fine candidates, coaches that could have been, thought about before JJ. The only reason why JJ has that job is because LeBron James gave the green light. I don't care what they say. Everybody knows that. If LeBron James did not want him there, he wouldn't be there. So what I'm saying is it's too much power at the wrong time. At the wrong time for a player who is all-time talented, all-time great player as LeBron is. But it's too much power. At some point, you got to transition and start preparing for the future. Which leads now to what I want to talk about today. I saw something a couple days ago, and I wasn't going to talk about it. But since we off the off season and we done beat the drum of Dak getting paid and Dak not getting paid and Coach McCarthy losing his job and keeping his job and the offensive line and no defensive tackles and all, we done beat that all season long. Gonna beat it some more. But today, I just wanted to jump in on this one, and it's not factual. It's more Magic Johnson, LeBron James-ish type scenario. I don't know if you didn't see this earlier this week, where it was really made on the article was written 2 days ago. And maybe you guys should go check it out. I should have put it on my Facebook. I should have used it as a Facebook post, and maybe you guys could have read it. And I might do that for you even after the show. If y'all want to see the article that I'm going to really be coming from today, I'll put it on my page after the show, and you can read it for yourself and draw your own conclusions and everything else. But it is a article that's wrapped in a lot of stuff to me. It was an article that was written on the 20th, 2 days ago, by Jerry Trotter, who works for the LandryHat.com. The Landry Hat, like Coach Tom Landry, the LandryHat.com. Company based in Dallas, of course. Talks primarily about the Cowboys, of course. And here's the title of the article. The article was, Mike McCarthy boosts Cowboys job security out of nowhere thanks to Micah Parsons. I'll give you the direct quote from Parsons, but just a quick overview or a real, quick thesis or whatever. It's all about Micah Parsons giving his endorsement to Mike McCarthy to keep his job as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's really what the article is all about. Micah Parsons got into an interview somewhere and gave a direct quote, and he quoted it. It was quoted. And I found that to be very interesting because of the slight, let me get it right, because I got haters in here. Let me get it right. There is a slight comparison between Magic, LeBron, and Micah Parsons. The comparison to Magic is this. They were young. When you're young and you're super talented, like Magic was at 19, 20 years old, and just like Micah Parsons is super, super talented, it gives you a little bit more power than what you may be thinking that you have. Because if you're that dude, I'm in quotations, if you're that dude, the organization, just like Dr. Buss did with Magic at 20 years old, the organization will cater to you. The organization will cater to you because you're the star, or in Magic Johnson's case, you were the superstar of that team at a very early age. And if the superstar is bringing trophies home in his rookie year, then certainly the organization is going to cater to you, and they will cater to you even at the expense of everybody else, because you're the man. And if you're the man, it's really nothing new, y'all. I mean, I could have threw up a whole lot of other names in different sports, but on today, I just want to do that. Now, he's also compared to me to LeBron James. Super talented, different type of dude, and is at the point of a contract negotiation. LeBron is there right now. He can opt in with the Lakers if he wants to, or he can opt out and become a free agent. LeBron is going to opt out because of what that is going to do. LeBron is going to get even more money wherever he signs, and it's probably going to be the Lakers. But by opting out, he doesn't have to get the $48 million. He might get 50 or something like that. 50, 51, whatever LeBron wants, he's going to get it. Because the Lakers want him to retire as a Laker. And here's the thing, LeBron knows that. But LeBron wants to put pressure on the organization by, number one, give me my head coach, the one I want. That's number one. Number two, I don't care if my son ain't as great as anybody else. I want my son on this team. Guess what the Lakers are going to do? They're going to draft him. And then LeBron will put his name on the contract, and he will have his wish. He'll have his son to teach him the ropes of the NBA, and he will retire as a Laker. But my mind, I'm a little upset, even though it sounds great. I'm still saying the same thing. I hope you guys share this comment. As a matter of fact, everybody hit the likes if you don't mind. Smash it for me. Give me about 20 piece. If you're on YouTube, hit that heart button. Just smash it real quick. 20 times. If you're on Facebook, just hit the heart button. But my mind is saying, look, good Lord now. You can't base the organization and give this much power to a man that's got his hand on the doorknob, getting ready to retire. You're going to ruin. It's going to take years to recover from decision making. Okay. It's going to take a couple years to recover from LeBron retiring. That's me. All right. Segue to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, not this year, but next year, he's going to be in the same position where he can probably hold out and all that type of stuff. And if Micah Parsons puts up another all-pro year, which most people believe that he will, he makes another Pro Bowl and is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year and all that type of stuff, like he's been ever since he walked into this league, he's going to have some leverage. He is. He's going to have some leverage. And Micah Parsons, to me, is putting himself, and I believe he knows what he's doing. He's putting himself into the position where he believes that he has power. So my question today was, I don't know if you saw the title was, is Micah Parsons bigger than the star? And before you say yes or no, I want you to think about something. It's been a very long time since we had a guy like him. So let's not dismiss the fact that he's special. He is. He's different. He has obvious Hall of Fame type talent. If you want to do projections, if you had to put money down right now, if I would ask you, let's fast forward maybe about another 10 years, barring injury, is this guy right here going to walk into the Hall of Fame? I believe most of you going to say yes. He has that type of talent. And a lot of people pegged on him, Lawrence Taylor. He's not Lawrence Taylor, but that's what everybody was saying when he first walked in. When you start saying stuff like that, you automatically know he's different. It ain't too many like him walking around. He's a kind of talent that comes into the league once every 25, 30 years. There are pass rushers, then there are pass rushers. He's different. He ain't like everybody else. He just not. I got a super chat, so let me stop real quick. Terry, he said those are rich people problems. Steven problems. Yeah. I'm asking the question now because let me take your mind back. If you've been watching Micah Parsons, one of the mistakes that he's made, because he's an emotional type dude, is that he allows himself, to me now, you may feel different, he allows himself to be filmed in programs that I don't think he should be in front of the camera of. Like he's on draft parties. And when it's the Cowboys pick, and it's a person who he wants superstars. Micah wants free agents like we want, day one free agents. And when we don't get them, you've seen his Twitter, you've seen how he's responded, you've seen how he's looked, you've seen how he stares, all that type of stuff. And it's obvious that he's not happy with the decisions of the front office. That's easy to see. Should he do that? Me personally, I say no. You may say yes. Ooh, make no difference. But he's in a position, a more heavier position beginning next season, because the threat of a holdout may be in play. And based off of his personality, if I was to put money on it, I would say he's the type that I believe will hold out. I believe that. And the reason I'm saying that, when you go look at his endorsement deals, I think Adidas pays him. I think it's another huge one. And when you get them endorsement deals, you're gonna miss money, but this dude can, because see, the Cowboys know without him on the field, I don't care what you got, you're not the same defense. Kind of the same way that Zach Martin was last year. When they talked all that talk and said, Jerry said, well, we're not, he's already under contract. And he knew that they couldn't do anything without Zach Martin on the line. At least the line would have been not as good, obviously. They hurried up and paid him. So the holdout worked. I believe Micah Parsons is on that same level. All right. William says, what worth more, linebacker or defensive end salary? The defensive end salary, because they the ones get the quarterback. Linebackers don't make as much money as D ends. So it is what it is. Everybody know that. All right. So I'm fast forwarding because this article ties into some of the stuff, at least from my view, of what I'm saying, but I'm gonna carry it a different way. I am. Let me read to you what Micah Parsons said, and then I'll get into, I guess, my opinion. All right, this is what he said. This is the quote from the article. It says, they jumped in the middle and he's talking about, this is Micah Parsons' words. It says, we met for an hour or so just the other week, Parsons said via Cowboys team reporter Patrick Walker. He says, I don't think people understand just how much more McCarthy is invested in me in becoming a leader and how he thinks I value the team and where we're headed. I think McCarthy is really good, and I really value our conversations, and our relationship growing more as he's been here. And I think that's very powerful to me. He's taken on the challenge of when Dan left, talking about Dan Quinn, to be that voice for me. And I really appreciate that. Did y'all just hear that? So what we got is obvious stuff going on. And there's nothing wrong with a player talking to their head coach. I don't want you to think that I'm saying that can't do that. But at the same time, it sounds like to me, and forgive me for being old school. I'm sorry. I'm older, so I come from a time where a football coach would look at the best players on their team and look them in the face and cuss them out. In opposed to today, the coach avoids that type of tone and want to pit and cater to the stars of the team. That's the difference between when I played and most of us that were older. Everybody got the same treatment. Now, the stars are catered to. And if you holler at them, they gonna poke their lip out and cry and act like they just been violated and all that type of stuff. So when I hear this, and some of you may think the quote was nothing wrong with it, I saw something totally different. Like, first thing he said, we're having conversations, plural, okay? Again, nothing wrong with having your head coach. But look at the difference now between Coach McCarthy and then Coach Zimmer. What did Micah Parsons say about Coach Zimmer? I haven't even talked to him. I ain't said nothing to him. You know why? Because Coach Zimmer old school. Coach Zimmer don't believe in catering. That ain't how he built. That's the reason why he ain't talk. You call him Coach Zimmer, to look at his phone and push the ignore button. In opposed to Mike McCarthy, he look at his phone. Yeah, Micah, how you doing? What's going on? Hey. So it's a lot of different stuff. Then he's saying how he want him becoming a leader. Well, I hope in the middle of that conversation that Coach McCarthy told him, hey man, you got to kind of push that mute button on that microphone on that podcast that you got. Just can't get out and just say everything, anything that come to your mind. We know you're not a professional journalist. We know that you're not totally media savvy. We know that you're not all this, but as a leader of this team, you can't get out there telling everybody we were tired. And the leader of the team said, you can't go against what the leader said. That causes dissension. Y'all remember Micah Parsons, right? When DeMarcus Lawrence said we were tired, he come back and said, you were tired. I wasn't tired. I mean, I don't think that was it. No, you can't say that because you ain't quite on that level as being a leader. Even if you don't believe it, there's some things you put out in the media, and there's something you got to push that mute button. Zip your own lip up. You didn't do that. Then, as being a leader, forgive me for being old school. Y'all, forgive me. I'm different. I'm sorry. But I come from a time that today's time, I see players in basketball and football, they all hook up, hang out with each other. And it's kind of like Micah Parsons and C.J. Stroud. Good Lord of mercy. I can't do that. That's not me. They go all the way to Japan together. Then they here together. Then he's on Micah Parsons' podcast. And I mean, they just talking trash to each other, but you can tell they cool with each other. Excuse me, I come from a time where Magic Johnson hated Larry Bird. And Larry Bird hated Magic Johnson. I'm sorry. Michael Jordan hated the Detroit Pistons. And the Detroit Pistons hated Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. Ray Lewis did not fraternize with teams at all. He hated the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers hated the Baltimore Ravens. That's where I come from. And all this new age stuff that's going on now, I can't do it. See, just like your quarterback, and I'm not knocking him because I know what he's doing. He's staying real sharp. But the guys back then weren't doing no tight end camps together back then. They couldn't stand to even be in the same room with each other. That's where I come from. And I understand. I know what some of y'all gonna say. It's a different time. It's a different time. You have to do all that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna hang on to my time. I'm sorry. I can't do it. We'll shake hands when I meet you at the Pro Bowl if we there. We'll shake hands at the NFL honors program and all that. But after that, I ain't calling you. We don't have too much in common. I'm trying to kill you, man. You got something that I want, and I got something that you want. It's just like we playing the Texans this season. All this, just see, CJ and Micah Parsons are so friendly with each other, and I'm almost scared that Micah Parsons get a chance to bust his back wide open. I don't think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna just grab him and just throw him down, and hopefully he don't tweak him too bad and all that. In opposed to Stephon Diggs and Trayvon Diggs, ladies and gentlemen, they going at it. And they going to go at it so hard that you wouldn't even think that they were brothers. See the difference? Reason why I know that, because we already got film on that, how they go at each other. Micah done had Jordan Love on his podcast laughing and giggling, hee-hawing, and after the Packers beat our brains out in the playoffs. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm too old. I can't do it. And so I'm looking at him saying, like, Mike McCarthy is catering to a guy when he don't even know if he gonna be the coach next year. See what I'm saying? Man, you need to get in this man's face and tell him, Doc, as great as you are, look, I got to see this in the playoffs. Because the track record says you ain't nowhere to be found in the playoffs. Matter of fact, before the playoffs, the track record says that you get all your stats right at Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, we don't hear too much from you. We don't see all the sacks no more. Matter of fact, see, y'all don't want to see, y'all weren't expecting this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Y'all know how I am. This is a big time show. Y'all know what time it is. I need all my family to hang with me. You ain't got to agree, but I'm spitting some truth in here. The truth of the matter is, when you ain't stopping the run. Matter of fact, it's not your fault. They doubling and triple teaming you. I get it, but you too light in the pants. You ain't heavy enough even to do that, and it makes you not a non-factor in money time. Y'all saw the games like I did. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. And so it's too much catering going on. You want to know the difference between Magic Johnson, LeBron James, and Micah Parsons? Here's the major difference. Magic and LeBron had production along with the power. Michael just got somewhat power. But where's the production? See, your seat is not as powerful if you don't have, it's because of the production that it brings you the power. That's what happened with Magic. That's what happened with LeBron. And some of you saying, well, LeBron ain't won no championship. Yes, he did. I don't care how many asterisks you put by his name. He won a championship in Los Angeles. Yes, he did. Y'all say it's the bubble. Who cares? Guess what? The banner goes up. It's only one team. They got the rings. It was the Los Angeles Lakers. That's power. That's power. Recent power, I may add. Magic, 4 more championships after they won, after you got the coach fired. That's power. LeBron has gotten many coaches fired. That's power. And LeBron, this is not LeBron's first go around with having power over organization, that everything pretty much runs through him. This is the way it's been for him for almost the last 20 years. So that's nothing new. But Micah Parsons don't deserve, here I go, y'all. Micah Parsons don't deserve to be in that type of seat. And he's putting himself in, if you read the article, he's putting himself in that type of seat, setting it up for next year when it's negotiation time. And I'm saying, in my view, he ain't that. I ain't talking about his talent level. I ain't talking about can he play. We all know he can play. The man is going to be an all-pro again this year probably, barring injury. Look, I ain't taking nothing away from his, his ability like that. But he ain't on that level where he can start going around trying to send a seed to the Jones family by saying, hey, I like Coach McCarthy, so y'all need to keep him. Because that's really what's going on here. Because he knows that Coach McCarthy is a lame duck coach walking. And what he's trying to do is say, look, he's trying to position himself slightly in front of him, say, hey, now, y'all know y'all want to keep me. Now, if y'all want to keep me, y'all going to start doing some of the things that I want, kind of like what LeBron is doing. He's just slowly but surely, I can see it from a mile away. He's slowly but surely trying to put himself on that level. And the Cowboys, if they pay him, they're going to pay him like he's on that level. He is probably going to be, as you already know, because too many people done said it, the highest paid player other than a quarterback when his time comes. Higher than the receivers, higher than any other defensive player, higher than any other running back, higher than most quarterbacks. He's going to get that. He is going to get it. But just because he's going to get it, you may have a little power, but you ain't got that kind of power that can start dictating the organization. And he talks like that already. I ain't talking about because of this article. You don't believe me? Go back and listen to some of his podcasts. He talked like he runs the show. And in this organization, I'm sorry, it will be a first. It will be a first. Ain't nobody bigger than the star. It's only one person, one, that is possibly bigger than the star. And he ain't even a player. Y'all already know who it is. Jerry Jones. Ain't nobody else ever. And please don't come to me with Emmitt Smith in 95. You know, that was a holdout. That was just a contract dispute. He ain't had that much power. Jerry let him sit on the sideline for 2 games. See what I'm saying? Whoever name you want to throw out, not big enough. And we, the Lord knows, we done had some superstars in this organization. We've had it. Nobody in this organization is bigger than the star. Now, I'm seeing some signs that we're going to have one player that's going to challenge what I'm saying. And that's going to be Micah Parsons, because we ain't had a guy like this. We have not had a guy like this. No. The markers where? Nope. T.O., nope. Dion, nope. Whoever you want to throw out, all of our legends. All of our legends. There has been nobody not like this dude. This dude different. He's different. But I'm still arguing the point that you may be big. You ain't big enough. And I personally don't like Coach McCarthy catering to him. Not when the standard has been set by Coach Zimmer. Coach Zimmer ain't tried to talk to the man. He ain't tried to. Because see, Coach Zimmer comes from the Bill Parcells tree. That was his mentor. He coached on all his staffs. Mike Zimmer come from that. We all know how Coach Parcells wouldn't cater to nobody. Shoot, he had a first team all-pro wide receiver and Terrell Owens on the team. You know what he called him? Y'all remember? The player. He never called him by the name. That's how much respect he had for him. A first team, legitimate. T.O. in his prime, too, I may add. In his prime. Parcells called that man, and Mike Zimmer was on that staff, too. This man called that man the player. Called him the player. This is where Mike Zimmer come from. So I wasn't surprised when Micah Parsons said, like, I haven't talked to Coach Zimmer. And then that shows you slightly what I'm talking about. Some things you need to put the mute button on. Because when you say stuff, you know how these people are going to perceive it. When you come out and say, my coach ain't talked to me, you ain't talked to him. I mean, what? He had to reach out to you. Oh, he's supposed to cater to you. Everybody ain't doing that. Everybody not doing that. Mike Zimmer ain't calling Micah Parsons to ask him about what defense he want to run. No. Nope. If he got the call, Micah Parsons would hear from Mike Zimmer, and Mike Zimmer would tell him, this is what we running. But coach, I don't run. This is what we running. But coach, I don't want to line up as a line. This is what we running, sir. You're on the contract, right? With this, okay. But this is what you're running. You don't get no say so. He go the back doorway, talk to Coach McCarthy, and Coach McCarthy, yeah, come on in, Micah. Yeah, what do you think about leadership? What do you think about? What do you see this team? What in the world are you asking him for? What he sees in the future for this team, when it's very possible, Coach McCarthy, you don't even have a future. What you need to know about his future? He ain't running nothing. If you're not here, Coach McCarthy, it's gonna be another coach that's gonna come with their vision, their plan, et cetera, et cetera. Then Micah Parsons got to learn this all over again. What you asked him for? Like you gonna be here. And trust me, I want Coach McCarthy here because he's turned the culture around. To me, I don't think you get rid of coaches that win 12 games a year. I just don't think that. That's me. Some of y'all want them gone. I get it. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm just saying, what do we have in common? Here's the quote again. He said, Micah Parsons said, I don't think people understand how much more McCarthy is invested in me in becoming a leader and how he thinks I value the team and where we're headed. Look, you don't even belong in that conversation. To me. I'm sorry. I'm old. I'm 51 years old. I'm sorry. See, in order to get in those type conversations, the Bulls talk to Michael Jordan. When they made any type of major decision in that organization, they talked to Michael Jordan to see how he felt about it. Not how the coach felt, Not how the general manager felt, not how the assistant coaches felt, not even the other players. They talked to Mike first, and then they talked to everybody else. And for good reason. Why? Because Michael Jordan come to this table and said, look what I've done. Look what I've done for this team. And y'all know, if it wasn't for me, even though he probably didn't say that, but he could have. If it wasn't for me, this organization wouldn't have all these banners up here. It's because of me, even though Mike wouldn't say that. But if he said it, who was going to argue with him? See, when the Lakers did stuff back then, Pat Riley at the beginning, at the end, he had it, the power. But when they went through Magic, they talked to Magic. They asked the questions to Magic. Say what you will about LeBron. When the Cleveland Cavaliers made any decision, when the Los Angeles Lakers made any decision, they didn't call Darvin Ham. They didn't call the general. They didn't call Rob Pelinka. They didn't call him. They called LeBron James first. And they got their direction by the responses of LeBron James, because LeBron James brought another championship to the Lakers. He brought another championship to Cleveland. Well, not another. He brought the championship to Cleveland. That gave him an unusual amount of power. Micah Parsons ain't on that level. But he's positioning himself like he is. And even though I like him, love the kid as a player. And even though I'm a diehard Cowboy fan, as all you know it, I'm here to tell y'all, he is that dude on the field. But on this level here, because of this article I just read, I'm just saying he ain't that dude. He's not. He's not. He ain't done enough to get on that level. No. And he's trying to position himself like he is on that level. And he's not. The truth of the matter is this, y'all. I'm not suggesting it. Don't take it like I am. But here's the God's honest truth. The Cowboy organization would actually get a whole lot. Let me see. How can I put this? The organization could get a real head start on a rebuild if they traded him. Because you're going to get a whole lot back. It's almost reminiscent for all of us that are older of the Herschel Walker deal. Herschel was still in his prime. What Jimmy Johnson do? Traded him away. That started the dynasty. So to be honest with you, your real power, that's how much power Jerry can flip it real quick by trading him away. Can you imagine the packet? I'm not suggesting it, y'all. Don't do it. I'm just saying, before you think you on that level, before you try to come and play hardball in negotiations, please understand, if we trade your tail away, especially if you let that go. If you let that go, you might as well go and start the rebuild early. I'm just saying. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm going to get a nice package for Micah Parsons. I ain't just talking about no one pick either. No. I'm talking almost like 3 first-round picks, a couple thirds, maybe some second. What? You're going to get a package for Micah Parsons. So that show you how much power that you really have. Because the Cowboys do not have to pay him and make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. They don't have to do it. I hope they do, because I want to see these kids stay around for the next 18 years. I want that. I do. But Micah is starting Again, y'all, it's me. And I'm gonna put the article up, the full article on my page on Facebook. So y'all can go, if y'all follow me on Facebook, as soon as it's over with, I'm gonna put it on the page. You guys read it for yourself. But I don't like the catering. I don't. I'm just older. I'm sorry. I don't like the catering that I'm seeing already. And you can call it what you want. And the old school would say, I don't like the kissing. I don't like all the kissing. I don't like that. I'm not like that. I'm starting to see it. Somebody need to tell Micah Parsons this. You're a great football player. You are great. Ain't too many walking around like you. You're different. Y'all know that. But there's a level that you got to go to, Mr. Parsons. Somebody need to tell him this. That there's another level that's attached to greatness that you haven't reached yet. And to get on these type of levels where you're in high demand, or you can demand some stuff like a Aaron Donald, for instance, you got to get on that type level. If your mouth gonna say it, I need to have something behind your name and your mouth that matches up to what your mouth be saying. That's what I'm saying. I got to see it. I got to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. There's a level. There are levels, and then there's the upper level. Micah Parsons is on that level. Can't argue with it. Been an all-pro ever since he came into the league. He's been all-pro ever since he came to the league. Defensive Player of the Year nominee every year from his rookie year on. Gotten real close 1 year. You can't deny what he is. He's a great football player on a Hall of Fame type road already. We already know this. Huh? Nothing. Thank you, Coach. Nothing. Teams that Coach Marv says, what has he done different in year 2 and year 3? Nothing. Matter of fact, truth be told, he was an all-pro, but this year he was a second team all-pro. Last year, he was the first team. Teams done figured him out. But he's still great. I mean, ain't no doubt. I'm not knocking him. Ain't no doubt about that. He's great. He's great. I don't want y'all to think he's great. He's different. Ain't too many guys walking around with this type of skill set that he has. Yeah, you that. But there's levels to this stuff, man. Not for him to be talking like this. Somebody need to, and I can't knock him for that because he's not media savvy yet. He's the kind of guy that let whatever on his head, he gonna say it. His personality is very outgoing, and he gonna say it. But there's some type of media training that he needs to go through, especially since he has the same thing that I got in front of my face right now, which is a microphone on his podcast show. See, people like me can talk like that because I ain't got no, I ain't in the fight no more. Too old. I ain't doing that. He don't, when Doug Brooks talk, when Big Time talk, it's only a few hundred of y'all that listen. I got some shows that may hit right at 1,500, 1,600. When he talks, millions listen. See the difference? If he says something outlandish, it's gonna be on every network going on. If I say something, my wife is gonna be the only person gonna say, "What the word are you saying?" My pastor may call, "Hey man, what's wrong with you? You all right?" You see what I'm saying? Just a few people. When he talks, millions listen. So he ain't media savvy yet. He ain't learned the art yet. He ain't learned that. He just flapping his mouth like every other person that has a a podcast. There's levels to get to the part where I'm talking about, where you're on the Magic Johnson, LeBron James type level, where you just sit back and everybody got to call you to see what direction are we taking this organization. LeBron James will be 40 years old in December of this year. And it is amazing to me how a man that's getting ready to walk out of the door, out of the NBA in a couple of years, still has this much power. They really should be talking to Anthony Davis, even though I don't like Anthony Davis at all. To me, I ain't fit to get into that. I'm saying I'd never have liked Anthony Davis, but he has more of a future than LeBron James does. And that's who they need to be talking to, not LeBron trying to figure out the future. Shoot, LeBron ain't got no future. He's going to be gone in a couple of years. They're letting him dictate the organization, the coach, who they going to draft. I mean, how much power is that? I'm not saying it's not justified, but if it was me, and see, the owner ain't got the guts enough to go any other direction, because he's not going to opt in and he may leave, which everybody doubts very seriously, but the possibility is there. And so therefore, LeBron has the organization handcuffed. Micah Parsons ain't nowhere near on that level. Magic Johnson just won a championship with a coach in 1980, and Magic got that coach fired. Let me say it again. The coach just won the championship in 1980 with Magic, and Magic got that coach fired, didn't even make the next year. That's power. Made the owner, Dr. Jerry Buss, made him make a decision on who he gonna roll with. You either gonna roll with Magic or you gonna roll with your coach. Dr. Buss, very smart, made the decision, and a 20-year-old guy with years ahead of him, he made the decision to roll with the player, told the coach, we thank you for the service, take this ring with you that you earned with the coach, goodbye, and God bless you. Micah Parsons ain't nowhere near that level. His own defensive coordinator ain't treating him like that. You see what I'm saying? Micah Parsons is assuming, it's slowly but surely. I'm going to put the article up, y'all. Y'all read it for yourself. You get your own interpretation. It'll be on my page just as soon. Matter of fact, I'm going to go and send it now while I'm talking. How about that? I'll do it now. Hey, I appreciate it. I see you, angry Cowboy fan in the building. I'm sorry, Tyrone. Hey, how y'all doing? Let me send this now. If I can find it. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on because I'm not gonna. Cause see, I kind of forget sometimes too. So let me put it on there now. Now y'all stay with me. I'm just gonna put it on the page. Y'all stay with me. Don't quite leave your old boy yet. I'm gonna put it there, and I want you guys to see this for yourself. And some of you may say, well, you're reading a little bit too much into it. No, I don't think so. Because the standard has been set by Coach Zimmer. When Micah Parsons said himself, I haven't talked to him at all. I haven't talked to him. Okay, you haven't talked to him, but then your coach done brought you in and set you on the couch. Coach McCarthy, and he catering to you. Coach Zimmer ain't catering to you. So we already on different pages already. See what I'm saying? So so here's the word that'll sum it up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get it go ahead and over the lines, because I know y'all got stuff to say to me on this. But I'm gonna go on and say this. The word entitlement comes into play. Entitlement. And I'm starting to see the obvious signs of a person that feels that he's entitled. See, I done beat the horse of, play calling and, Dak gonna get paid. CD need to get paid. We done talked about all this. We done talked about we ain't got no defensive tackles. We done talked about all this stuff. We done talked about the draft. We done talked about BB and Tyler Guyton on the offensive line. We done talked about all this stuff. We done beat the horse. We're gonna beat it some more coming up. But see, this type of stuff here, this type of stuff here is what causes dissension in the locker room. This stuff right here. This is what causes friction in the locker room. Cause see, Mike Zimmer gonna have to tell Mike McCarthy, hey man, I read the article, but I'm not doing that to the player. I'm treating all the players the same. I don't know if he's a leader or not. I know what he's done on the field, but I don't know if he's a leader or not. You trying to make him a leader. You know him better than I know him, but I got to feel him first. I got to be around him. I got to see how he responds to my coaching, because I'm gonna get in his butt. You gonna pat him on his head. You gonna shake hands with him. You sound like y'all had conversations. Did y'all go to dinner? I mean, good Lord. Did y'all? That's what the article said. That's what Michael said. We've had conversations. Him and Coach McCarthy. What did y'all go have a drink together? This is what Mike Zimmer ought to be asking. Did y'all have dinner together? Did y'all sing Kumbaya while y'all was there? Did y'all watch film together? Or did you go to did y'all go to the amusement park together? What y'all do? Because see, I ain't doing it. See, I'm not doing it. I'm strictly dealing with him on the field. And when he's not doing right, I'm gonna bust him dead in front of everybody. All pro or not. I'm speaking as Mike Zimmer. Did you call him? This is Coach McCarthy. Did you call him? No, I ain't call him. What I need to call him for? I ain't called nobody else. What I need to call him for? I got a job to do. What I need to call him for? What I need to call him for? For what? Do he got to play? He got the playbook. He know what to do. I see you, Tyrone. Tyrone, so to be fair, he always talking to Greg Ellis. Yeah, but that's fine. He talking to people who gonna pat him on his head. Look, Micah Parsons needs to get forget the pat on the head. And y'all don't take it the wrong way. Micah Parsons need to get a foot planted dead in his tail. Why? To get him to go to that ultimate level. He close, but he ain't there yet. And I'm not talking about so he can have power like he trying to assume right now. I'm talking about so he can get the production on the field so that he can have that type of power. See the difference? See, when you put major league production by it, can't nobody say nothing to you. They already know. See, it's a lot of us, some of y'all, even know how great he is, he still got some question marks. See, when you on that level, what I compared him to, as far as trying to be the man of the organization, like Magic was, like LeBron is, you got to have some production by your name. You had to do a year in and year out. You had to be the man for a while in order to be on that level. Michael Jordan type level. Well, a whole organization, the first call they make is not to the head coach. The first thing they do is to him. You know what he needs, y'all? You know what Micah Parsons needs? Not necessarily the person, but the person's treatment. You know what Micah Parsons needs? A Bill Belichick type attitude coach. And again, I said Bill Belichick, where did he come from? Again, Bill Parcells. Where did Mike Zimmer come from? Bill Parcells. See, Brady had every right to act entitled. Tom Brady had every right to act entitled. And guess what? Nobody was going to say anything to Tom Brady if he acted like he was supposed to be entitled. Why? Because of what he brought to the table, what he did as a player. Nobody was not going to say that. Now, the entitlement did show up in New England when Bill Belichick wanted to get rid of Tom Brady for Jimmy Garoppolo. Y'all remember that? The owner, Mr. Kraft, stepped in and said, no, Bill, I'll let you run this thing for about 20 years, but you're not going to make this decision. The entitlement works. Tom just didn't exercise. He allowed Bill Belichick to treat him like any other player on that team or those teams during the time. Brady was just as humble as he was when he first got drafted. He played like he was a 6th-round draft pick. He played like he was hungry. He played like he won the MVP. He played like he didn't win Super Bowls. But when the time came, Tom Brady snuck around the back door and went through Bill Belichick, went straight upstairs and went to talk to Mr. Kraft. Mr. Kraft got everything straight. Bill Belichick, of course, didn't like that because he wanted to trade Brady. And then Belichick found out how entitled he was. He didn't exercise it one time, but when he did, he showed who had the power. Micah Parsons ain't on that level yet, y'all. He's not. He may start to think he is. He ain't like that. Somebody need to talk to Parsons and go ahead and put a foot in him and get him to that level. See, production is first. Then everything else follows. This little plant seeds and stuff like this in this article here, that's backwards. You got to have production to get on this type level. Years. You got to have more than all pros by your name too to get on this type level I'm talking about. You got to do it. And this applies to just about any sport too, I mean. This level here that I'm talking about, this applies to any sport. Pick your choice. Soccer, Messi and Ronaldo. Trust me, they talk to them first. You understand? Whatever sport you talking about, you talk to these people first. Let me tell you something. And it don't happen in baseball often, but Ohtani and the Dodgers, he on that level. Know why? Because he done brought millions of dollars in because of his countrymen supporting him in LA. They saw it when he was with the Angels. Now he's that same way with the Dodgers. They know how much money he brings to that organization just by him putting the uniform on. Then, of course, he produces. So therefore, he gonna get a phone call about anything that's going on in the organization, or they gonna let him know what's going on. Yes. It's levels to this. I just threw Ohtani's name up. Trust me, the New York Yankees. Do y'all think they don't talk to Aaron Judge? Huh? Come on now. Hello. You don't think the Yankees talk to Aaron Judge about anything? They just say, hey man, you got a game tomorrow night. Get your glove and go play. And we're gonna make these decisions up here. And do you really think that's how it go with a guy like him? It's more in basketball now than anything because basketball has turned into a players' league. They get coaches fired. It just ain't LeBron. They got power. Guy can say I'm playing here next year, and they be there. Then sign a whole contract to play somewhere else, and then get mad and say I'm James Harden. In other words, James Harden played with a different team every year for the last 2-3 years. You see what I'm saying? Power. They can do that. They superstars. It's different. Football, it usually don't happen. But there have been some examples of people who had their power. Now, maybe they didn't use it, but they had it. Peyton Manning had it. This type of power that I'm talking about, where you run a whole organization. Tom Brady had this type of power. Ray Lewis had this type of power. I'm just saying. Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay had this type of power. It ain't many, y'all. It ain't many. And in Dallas, Texas, ain't nobody had this type of power. Ever. We had too many of the legends get sent away, get cut, got traded, all that type of stuff. Jerry Jones has this type of power. Players hadn't had this type of power. I'm saying Micah Parsons, we haven't seen this type of dude. We just haven't seen it. We haven't seen it, but that don't mean he got power. Not like this. Not the kind of power I'm talking about. And for him to start trying to slowly but surely assume or start assuming this type of power, go read the article on my page. It's there for you when you get a chance. I don't like what I'm seeing. And I think that it's going to cause, especially when you start catering to him, it's going to cause some type of, it's got to be some type of discrepancy in the locker room. It does. And that's all I'm saying. And who knows? It's just my opinion. I may be wrong, but I've been around long enough to see this type of stuff. And when you start mixing in entitlement into organizations, and that's even on your jobs, y'all know people who work with you and they can do anything, and then you do the same thing, and there's some type of criticism or something, but there's nothing that goes along with that person. That's called entitlement. See what I'm saying? And once you start doing that, it causes problems on the inside. I'm just telling you. All right, phone line open. I didn't talk long enough. Phone line is open. 901-654-6853. I hated to do this, but y'all might need to share this one because I see it. We'll pick back up on schemes and players and that getting paid and all that. But I had to talk about this today because I need to say something about Mr. Parsons. I ain't too hype about what I'm seeing.
Call from Coach Marv. To accept, press 1.
Hey, Coach Marv in the building. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Big Show?
I'm just getting myself in a little trouble here.
No, you're not getting yourself in trouble.
I'm just trying to tell you.
I posted on Twitter when I first heard that article, and I read the article.
Oh, okay.
And I had three things I had a problem with in that article on Twitter when I reposted it. It had three things that was puzzling to me. And also I reposted something on Twitter yesterday that I posted a lot of stuff on last night, the stuff that I said back in January. That's still holding true today with the Cowboys, and a couple of those issues was hitting Micah Parsons. My thing, it was three things that was tough. And you go through that argument and those three things were, and I left one thing out, but I'll mention it here, but it was really four things that was very puzzling to me. One was when they talked about Mike McCarthy would have been fired, but the Joneses didn't want to pay Mike McCarthy off and pay another coach.
Okay.
That's why one of the biggest reasons they kept. And I was like, $4 million, the lowest paid coach. They were scared about paying dead money of $4 million to a coach. What billionaire is worried about $4 million?
Wow.
I mean, what is that? I mean, so that was puzzling to me. Because they were talking about dead money. That was what the hang up of not them fired. When coaches all over the NFL and in basketball, I think Monty Williams gets fired in Detroit and still had $65 million left on his contract, and they fired him. So, but the Cowboys, the richest organization in sport, worried about $4 million because they don't want to pay dead money. That puzzles me.
That's crazy.
The second thing that puzzled me was it just had a tone like Micah Parsons and Mike McCarthy were equal.
Yeah,
on this team.
Yeah. Come on,
and they were partners.
Yeah.
In this, they were talking like two partners about what we're going to do, what direction we're going in.
Yeah.
And I think people don't really understand that Micah's only played 3 seasons. He hasn't even played the whole entire NFL yet. He hasn't even played the Baltimores or the Pittsburgh. He hasn't even played everybody in the NFL yet. And sometimes he has a tone about him like he done seen it all. I done seen it all. They done try to block me. And I'm telling you, people, I have been around kids. I may have not been around a kid that has been exceptional as Micah Parsons athletically, but I have been around kids that have been exceptional athletically, and some of them never reach their full potential. Is because they feel that they have arrived and that they know everything.
Wow.
And when you get to that point, it stunts your growth because you cannot be challenged and you cannot be pushed. Mm-hmm. That goes to my post that I put out there, big show yesterday, when I posted back in January, when they were talking about what coaches do. And I was posting back in January about how we failed Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. And I posted about, what about talent? And I said, talent. What? And the quote was, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban said in the art of coaching, said, great players can't take bad coaching. Mm. And say, what is good coaching? Good coaching cannot create talent. It can't.
No way.
You can't. I don't care how much you coach a guy, you can't create talent. Mm-hmm. But what good coaches do, they motivate talent. Mm-hmm. They hold talent accountable. They refine the talent, and they put the talent in the best place for it to be successful.
Exactly.
That's what good coaches do. Mm-hmm. And this job now is Zimmer's job to do what a good do. And I put in there that he doesn't have to be a friend. This was last night. You go check my Twitter page.
Man, it's like
he doesn't have to be.
It's like me and you
don't have to be friends.
It's like me and you done talked, and even though I didn't talk to you, you sounded like me.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You don't have to be a good friend, but you have to be a great coach to get that done. Mm-hmm. And I said it again when I said that they failed Michael last year. I said it again, and I'm going to say it, echo it again. And I want Cowboys fans to hear this, and I don't want them to think that I'm shooting down Micah Parsons. But Micah Parsons has not arrived to Hall of Fame status yet.
No.
If you ask me, he's the 5th or 6th best defensive end in football right now. Because you got guys that's doing more than him year in and year out.
Yep.
You got a guy in Las Vegas,
Crosby,
that's averaging 17 sacks a year, and he's averaging 90 tackles as a defensive end. That's unheard of. You got a guy that Micah Parsons. What we want to say generational. I was one of the ones that said generational. Mm-hmm. I kept saying generational, but I have to retract that, because what makes Micah Parsons generational Is it he's generational because what he does at defensive end? We done seen that 100 times over. Mm-hmm. We done seen what Micah Parsons can rush the pass 100 times over. Mm-hmm. We done seen a Quinn who played for the Cowboys that had 19 sacks, 15 sacks, and then with the Chicago had 19 sacks, 19 and a half sacks, and is out of work. So we have seen pass rushers in the NFL. But what we said he was generational was because he came in as a number one pick at middle linebacker, and that he could rush the passer like a defensive end. He could play the run like a middle linebacker and dominate because he was in his run statistics when he was in college. He was at the top of the draft at linebacker, and he could rush the passer like a defensive end. That's what made him generational. What made people get really saying he's generational? Because in a game in his rookie year, he was stopping plays at the run. He had 85 tackles. He had 13 sacks. And then in one game, he switched out on a receiver and knocked away a touchdown pass in the end zone. That made him generational. Rushing the passer does not just make him generational. We have seen that over and over. That's nothing special, people. 14 sacks in 2 years. He had 13 sacks. He had one forced fumble this year. Everybody in the top, he's like 7 or 8 defensive end and sacks. And everybody in the top 5 had 4 or more strip fumbles this year. Micah Parsons had 1. So when we talk about why is he on the all-pro team, is because, let's think about it. I'm not saying he's not a good football player, but he plays on the biggest stage in football. And this is the craziest thing. They're pumping him up now. But once he gets $35 million a year, are we going to take 14 sacks and 8 tackles?
No.
Are we going to call that generation if we do that then?
No, you want more?
No. No, we're going to say that ain't enough.
Exactly.
If he's the 5th best defensive end in football, what we going to say? Yeah. We wasting money. Yeah. So what you have to teach this young man is that you hadn't arrived, and if you don't think you got to continue to get to your potential, and when you get to your potential is, you got to be pushed to get to your potential. I would tell you like this, Big Show. We have watched Hall of Famers get up there on the mic every year in the Hall of Fame and talk. And I would guarantee you, all of them have talked about coaches that have been in their lives. Can anybody say that? Everybody talked about coaches. And I would guarantee you that they didn't like those coaches sometimes when they were playing for them, or they had them in practice, or they was in games. I'm quite sure that they were like, man, this coach is what? Coach so-and-so, he tripping. I can't stand him.
Yep.
But that guy, at the end of the day, just like when Jimmy Johnson got up there when his Hall of Fame, when they put him in the Ring of Honor, if people listen to what he said he was talking to Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, and Charles Haley. And he said, I know y'all thought I was a tyrant, an a-hole when y'all played for me. But y'all ain't quit on me. And they were shaking their heads like, yeah, we thought you was a fool. Mm-hmm. But he said, now you love me. Yeah. Why you love me? Because I got you to the point that you was champion and you were Hall of Fame. Yep. And if he don't have nobody that can challenge him to get to another level, he has peaked already. Yep. And we're going to see him go down instead of up, because one thing about it, Big Show, his athletic ability is not going to get better.
No.
It's going to get worse. So what he's going to need, man, is the smart and the intellect and the desire and the teammates to get him to the place he want to be. And all these articles are telling us is what Jesse Ollie said was the gospel. Mm-hmm. And we didn't want to believe it. Article I posted about when they do, and he didn't talk bad about Parsons. Law did a big show on it because I sent the clip to him and he did a show on it. Mm-hmm. But they said Micah Parsons can give you interceptions. He can give you forced fumbles. He can give you run tackles for loss in the backfield with running back. He can give you stuff that will be a game changer. It doesn't have to be defensive end. He will be a game changer at anything. If you run the ball, he can change the game. If you pass the ball, he can change the game. If you drop back, he can change the game in all ways, and there is no cap on that type of money. He will not be getting money for defensive end. He won't be getting linebacker money. He'll be getting game changer money. And guess what? There is no cap on that, and there is no stat for that.
Exactly.
But he said this: he can be those things, but do Micah Parsons want to give it to him?
Yeah.
And that's the question is, he has to have a coach that says, you got great potential, you got greatness, you got generational on you. Do you want to be generational? Yeah. Do you want to be on that top of that mountain? Do you want to have the team success that says, I'm a Super Bowl champion, as well as because if I win Super Bowls, I don't have to have as big a stat. You're going to push my stats up because I won Super Bowl. But do you want that? But what I see what he wants to be paid. And I'm telling you, Cowboy fans, you're so in love now, but you'll be the same person tearing them down.
Exactly.
When he get paid.
Exactly. I agree.
Appreciate it, Big Show.
Awesome.
Hey, man, take my Twitter out, man. We're posting out this post out there. Because I talked about this exact same thing on last night.
Well, I didn't know, and if I would have known you was on this, you would have got the link today, because it sounded like you and I are saying the same thing.
We just, another thing we don't, Big Show, I just say what we need to know. It's not that we are denigrating for Micah Parsons.
No, by no means.
Trying to make, we have seen people, Big Show. That's the thing with our young folks. Yeah. That we give them the feeling of they have arrived already and that they know too much, and we're into the point we expect them to know more than experience hadn't even gave them the opportunity to learn.
Yeah, you ain't had experience yet. You haven't had experience
to
yet.
even give you the opportunity to learn. Yeah. It's almost like you saying a kid who's about to graduate, but he hadn't even took prerequisites to take the classes that he knows. Yeah. You can't say he know it already. He hasn't even took the class yet.
Yeah.
He got to go through this and take the classes and find out and hear a different voice and get smarter at his game.
Yeah.
This is what I say. Great coaches, Big Show. Remember, when people tell me great coaches do, they don't create talent. They only do is they motivate talented players. They refine talented players with their skill level. Yeah. They hold talented players accountable, and they put talented players in the right spot for them to be successful. That's what good coaching does. Yeah. And if he doesn't have that, he won't be refined, he won't be motivated, and he won't be held accountable, and he's going to go down from there.
And so since you
talent
and I...
is going to keep him.
So since you and I are pretty much speaking the same language, I wish I would have known all this, because I would have sent you the link today, Coach. But since I got you here now, then tell me this, because you've been a coach. You've been coach. So is the Mike Zimmer approach the right way to go? With Micah Parsons?
But what you did, but this is what you did the disservice. This is the disservice you did with trying to do this. The only way that you're going to get Micah Parsons, who's a talented player, to listen and to be able to, for that type of person to get to him, is that you have to be invested in an organization and show that you are invested in that coach. So he don't think that the coach is just a stepfather to come in there or a substitute teacher that's coming in the class. It's just like a substitute teacher. A coach on a one-year contract is a substitute teacher coming in to try to teach top-level students something, and the student's like, I'm not worried about what this substitute teacher's saying because they ain't going to be here 5 minutes.
Wow.
But if you bring a real teacher in there, regardless of this 1 or 2 years, the person feels that you invested in this person, that you feel that this person is going to be here, so I must listen to them because you have an investment in them. But when you got McCarthy on 1-year deal, and then you bring Zimmer there and all his other coaches on 1-year deals,
wow.
If this guy do have a selfish mentality and he sides the buck because you try to put him in uncomfortable situations where sometimes he's gonna have to be the decoy for you to win games, and he tries to buck against you. He's gonna buck against you because he's there longer than you. This is why 1 year lame duck coaches don't work in no situation.
Wow.
Because you're taking the ability for them to be able to get their point across.
Wow.
That's why teams are this is why they call lame duck.
So then you do feel a sense of entitlement because you know I'm gonna be here. You may not.
That's right. It's in politics too. You think the new senators who come in gonna listen to let's say the new senators come in today, you think they're gonna listen to Biden even though they're Democrats? Why? You're on your last senator. Why should I listen to you? And I don't even know, and I'm not saying it, but I don't even know if you're gonna be here in 6 months.
Yeah. Wow.
But if you're there for 4 years, I must listen. Why? Because you're in the spot for 4 years. So it doesn't mean that you're gonna these people because you can't fire people. But at least you know that you got them more than 1 year. That's why if I would have done anything, I would have extended Mike McCarthy for at least 1 year at $5 million. He would have took it. I could have extended him for $4 million. Know what he would have done? Yes, I would have took it. Because he already gave his dignity already given up because he took $4 million a year anyway. So I understand he ain't got no dignity.
Yeah.
So, but that gives you a sense. That's why the Pittsburgh gave Mike Tomlin the extension. When they asked him at the end of the year, was he going to have an extension, he walked out on the reporter. Because know why he walked out on the reporter? He said then to everybody, you can't expect me to coach this team if they don't think I'm going to be here. You can't expect me to discipline this team if they don't think I'm going to be here. And the Pittsburgh Steelers said, we're going to make it right so Mike Tomlin can run the team. If it doesn't work, we'll fire him, and then we'll bite the bullet if it doesn't work. But we got to give him the power for him to run this team. Zimmer is a good person for Micah. If Micah wants the coaching, again, it goes back to what Nate Nuke said. Micah can be these things. These other players, well, I disagree with you one thing, Big Show, when you talking about the Cowboys ain't seen this before. Yeah, they done seen greatness before. They done seen greater than Micah.
Mm-hmm.
But what they have seen before was, if you look at those players had somebody that made them feel football first.
Yeah. All Jimmy Johnson folks knew it was football first.
And you got to get somebody to rein them in. If you get somebody to rein them in, then you can get what you can get whatever you want out of this team if you get somebody to rein them in. But you got to have that.
Wow.
And that's at this point blank. And Micah has gotten to a point now. I don't know if he wants to be. I don't know if he wants to be reining in.
Wow.
I don't know if he wants to be. I don't know if he wants to be. Come on in. I don't know where he wants to be reined in.
Wow.
And that's the problem that we have in Dallas is that we need somebody to rein this in. And that's what this lame duck status is causing, Big Show. I don't think we really emphasizing that because we don't look at it this way. Mm-hmm. But this is the problem you have. You're in a season, you're gonna have some things that's gonna have some bumps in the road. You're gonna have some stuff that's gonna go wrong. When you have a fragile coach like this and a coaching staff, if we get off to a bad start or we lose a game or something goes wrong, this thing could fall apart and we not even make the playoffs. Yeah. Because once it started to get muted and everybody started going their own direction, I don't care how much talent you got, you're going to start losing games.
Yeah. It's kind of like
so. This is where I said this is a very fragile.
Yeah,
very fragile.
Your example of that was Philadelphia at the end of last year, losing all them games in a row. All the talent.
If it gets out of control, it can go south easily, and the media knows it, and they're pushing for you to get. They already know it. They don't. Listen here. what the media doesn't talk about, that's what we need to be concerned about. See, the media is not talking about this lame duck status like they should be.
No.
Because they already know. They don't want you to change that. They're going to talk about the stuff that they don't. They're going to talk about the stuff that they know is a positive, hoping you would change it. And the stuff they don't talk about, they already know is a negative, hoping that you don't change that.
Yeah.
So you can fail at the end. They already know that the signs of a lame duck coach doesn't work in the NFL, but nobody's really harping on that. They're ready for you to talk about you getting rid of Dak Prescott, which they know that that's a bad choice because that will kill you. But they rather say they talk about that than to talk about stuff that you really need to change.
Yeah.
Those are imposters. Another thing that I put out there, this is the thing about imposters. I said this back in January 15th. I reposted that again. We got to find the imposters, Big Show. And imposters are people who identify themselves or fake like they then I had the definition of them. And the definition I say of Cowboys is fans that are imposters, that pushes the narrative about the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Front office being imposters because they're making you think that they're football first and Super Bowl first.
Mm-hmm.
And players or coaches who hide behind the quarterback for failed team goals.
Mm.
We find these imposters, we'll be a better off football team.
Wow.
Y'all check this. Hey, last night I was on my recanting of everything I said in January because I hadn't seen none of this change and all this other stuff we talking about. Go to Coach Marv 1914 and you'll see the reposts I put out there. Stuff I said in January right after the season was over. And we had not addressed none of this because all the other stuff we're addressing is a soap opera atmosphere, but it's not football. And if we're going to win, we got to work harder than Kansas City. So if our training camp ain't like Kansas City or harder, if you're not working as hard or harder than the best, you can't be great.
Wow.
If you're working less than the best, you're going to fall short every time. Wow. And that's just point blank.
Awesome, Coach. I'm just
Big Show, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I'm just
check the Twitter out, man, and you'll see all those same things, man. And I hope our Cowboy Nation understand that we got a chance to run bigger deal, but it's gonna be a difficult situation because we got stuff that usually does not work. Not saying it can't, but the odds say it doesn't work this way.
Awesome, Coach. Man, I appreciate you.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
I'm just glad, man, that somebody obviously was thinking the same thing I was thinking. Whether you know it or not, I haven't talked to Coach Marr. He hadn't talked to me, and I have not checked his Twitter page out. I didn't even know that he had put this same article out that I put on my Big Time Show page. It's there right now. I put it in a post. If you follow me on Big Time Show, it's there for you. This is the same article that Coach Marr put out before me. So he already was aware of the story. And he sounded just like me. And what I'm saying, I'm just glad somebody else thinking the same thing I am. That this umbrella of entitlement is slowly but surely peeking its head. And if you're in the corporate world or if you've been a coach on any sports level, you see the signs before it become, total, the total picture has come to fruition. You can see the signs leading up to it. And when I read that, I said, "Oh my goodness, this is not good." And I'm just glad somebody else saw what I saw. So if I would have known this, if I would have known Coach Marr put that out there, you would have seen him face to face today because I would have had him on here. Because Coach Marr, as usual, comes in to drop bombs. Always appreciate his input. And it is what it is. Maybe you guys will look at it. Maybe you'll see what I saw. I don't like it. It throws off just the top. I mean, y'all heard Parsons say, we just using his words. He said, Parsons said, "Look, I haven't talked to Coach Zimmer." Y'all remember that in that interview? I don't think he said but 2 words to me. Then he comes back on the 20th and says that Coach McCarthy and I have had conversations about the direction of the team. You tried to talk to Coach Zimmer. Coach Zimmer wasn't going. Went to Coach McCarthy. So that throws off the right at the top. Because, this is one of your best players on the team, and the way it ain't on the same page as how you treat him. It's not. So we're already off in the first place. And Micah Parsons gives you the impression, I'm not saying he is, just saying he gives the impression that he's already there as a player. And I'm saying it's another level he can go to. But it's going to take the right type of stuff. And when entitlement gets involved into the equation, he just might never get to that spot, because this whatever I did before is what got me here, and it's good enough. And so many of us see something else with Micah Parsons that I'm quite sure he wants, because it's all he ever talked about. But it's a process to get there. This ain't part of the process, what I'm saying. And his athletic ability is going to be good enough that he might be able to skate by. You see what I'm saying? He might be able to skate by because of his ability. And he has that type of ability. He just very well may skate by. But, man, see, Coach Mara called out Crosby from the Raiders. I got one that compares better than that. T.J. Watt is undersized as a defensive end. Always has been. He gets double teamed just like Micah Parsons does. But isn't it amazing how T.J. Watt put up all these numbers every year? T.J. Watt gets chipped by running backs. T.J. Watt he's undersized, 250, maybe. 250-ish. Always has been undersized. But when you look up, guess what? 2 things gonna happen. You're gonna have about 18 sacks. T.J. Watt always gonna be in the top 2 or 3 for Defensive Player of the Year. Numbers are consistent, and he's undersized. They run at him too, and yet he still has these numbers. That is the real comparison. Look, I'm just calling it like it is. Not saying the Micah's not great. I don't want y'all to get me wrong, but I'm saying this entitlement can ruin things real quick. All right. I got time for one more. If not, I'm gone. Actually, I really should be gone. So, got about 10 seconds. Call in. This is a very interesting talk today. I know y'all was expecting. I put it in the title, so it shouldn't be a surprise. I know y'all may have been expecting something else. We'll pick up the Dak talk and CD talk and defensive tackle talk and all that. We'll pick that back up. Probably Monday night. But I thought this was worth really talking about today, because it is a very unhidden issue that can turn into a giant cancer in your locker room if you don't address it. And sometimes because of the talent level, they get excused from a lot of things, and this is what don't need to happen. It just don't need to happen. I don't care how talented he is. He ain't on that level yet that he deserves that type of excuses. Micah Irvin did a whole lot of foolish stuff. Micah Irvin did. Micah Irvin was high. Micah Irvin had women issues. Micah Irvin did a lot of stuff. But because of who he was on the football field, that was bigger than his problems, and it forced Jerry to cover for him a whole lot. Different day and time now, the stuff that they did back then, Roger Goodell would have a field day. Them guys wouldn't even be playing. You know what I'm saying? So, but Jerry covered him a whole lot, but it wasn't because he just loved this guy so much. He loved what the man did on the field, and everybody knows that on Sundays or Monday nights, Michael Irvin was front and center, ready to play, and played. But it's a different time now, and I know what they want to say, but they ain't gonna say it because somebody needs to tell them, hey Doc, this microphone that you got in your face on this podcast show, you trust me, everybody ain't gonna leave. You don't need to be getting on there every week. You don't need to get on there talking about week 5, talking about all this, what every other team have done. You ain't even watched the game. You need to be watching your own film. Don't be worrying about highlights of every other game and your opinion. You ain't even see the game. Cause see, I got a problem with you if you watching that game, every game, because you comment on every game. So you depending totally upon ESPN and all these highlights to just formulate an opinion. But you talk about your own game. If you have to talk, if you have to talk. So there's a lot of things there. I know they saying, man, I wish this man would put this microphone down. Talk after the season. Don't talk during the season. Talk after the season. Do your podcast after the season. You ain't gonna lose nothing. Matter of fact, you'll gain a whole lot more people. You don't need to be doing it. You don't need to get on the mic after the Cowboys lose and you get on the mic. No, you don't need to say nothing. You need to be quiet. You don't need to talk about who you playing next week because your personality is you gonna say something that's gonna be bulletin board material. Stop it. You don't need to say nothing. You need to talk after the season. Somebody need to tell him. You want to be great as he says he does, Doc, it's a decision that got to be made, and it's sacrifices that got to be made. You got to put football numero uno and nothing else other than your family, maybe your children. That's it. You want to be the greatest of all time like he said he wants to be, you got to sacrifice. You gotta be hungry as if you never done nothing. Ray Lewis was great. Ray Lewis didn't cheat you. Ray Lewis was the same as he was his rookie year. Full motor, blast. Played like he was hungry. Played like he ain't never done nothing. Ray Lewis gave you all he had. Every year, every week. There wasn't no question about that. That's how you become a leader. By the example that you put on the field. Body language. There are people that run to you. See, and I'm closing with this. See, you can't be nothing that you ain't showed nobody before. You weren't a vocal leader when you came in, and I understand when you're a rookie, you kind of take a back seat, kind of. But when you the man, it don't make no difference how many years you are. People gonna follow you. Why? Because you the man. So you can't be this rah-rah type guy because you ain't never showed that. It's not you. You're a rah-rah guy on the microphone, but on the field, you ain't like the Ray Lewis type. Celebrating your teammates, going cuckoo crazy. That's not Micah Parsons. So you being a leader, that ain't saying nothing. Especially when everybody's saying the same thing. It's Dak's team. That's what everybody say now. Can't be your team. It's Dak's team. That's what everybody done said now. It's Dak's team. You can be a leader, but you ain't the leader. Everybody in there and on that team know who the leader is on this team. It's Dak Prescott. They've been saying it for years. So even in your attempt to be a leader, quote unquote, you won't never be the leader because number 4 is still on this team. I'm just going by what he said, what the coach have said, what the owner have said. That's the one thing that they do get right. They all on the same page. And that is proclaiming that Dak Prescott is the leader of this team. Everybody says it. So I have no choice but to believe that. So since he's a presence in the locker room, nobody else really can be the man as far as the leader goes. So he's a general, you're a captain. People will go around the captain to get to the general. I'm done. Y'all look, if I ain't made y'all mad, y'all come on back with me Monday night. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock tonight. Ain't no telling what I'm gonna talk about. It just ain't no telling. It might be a part 2 to this. Cause I actually done got something else that I need, in this area I need to talk about. It is what it is, but whatever the case may be, come on, hang with me on Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. I'll be right back here. We'll talk about Cowboy-related things again. And we'll try to figure this out together. We're getting closer and closer to training camp. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to need the content creators. I'll be with you on Monday night, my show. But I will also be with you on Monday afternoon at 12:30 with West Coast for Cowboys Uncut. We had a great show on yesterday with Angry Cowboy fan and landlord from Alabama. It just ain't no telling who's going to be on this show. Maybe Henny. Maybe Craven Cowboy. It just ain't no telling who's going to be on the show. It just might be me and West Coast again. But whatever the case may be, turn on those live notifications and come on, hang with your boy. And then on Monday night at 7 p.m., I'll be back with you for the one and only Big Time Show. Now, as we leave, if y'all ain't too mad at me, go ahead and put them hand clap emojis together. We're going to get out of here. We're going to groove our way out of here in big time fashion. Y'all know how we do it. Go ahead and clap it up. And before you do that, hit the like button for me one more time, y'all. Y'all don't mind. Do that for me. I appreciate all of y'all hanging with me. I'll see you Monday morning, depending on what part of the country you're in. Monday morning or Monday afternoon, 12:30 Central. I'll see you. Cowboys Uncut, but then 7 o'clock. Come on back and hang with your boy for the one and only Big Time Show. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. If I disappear, let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys. This has been the Big Time Show.